Good morning, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. It is time for episode 3 of Music Month. If you don't know what Music Month is, every month I choose a specific emotional theme and then I pick out 5 songs and 1 album that I feel represent that theme really well. And the theme this month is Melancholy March, so not necessarily conventionally sad songs in a heartbreak sort of way, but more songs that just make you feel low and uninspired and depressed for no apparent reason. The dictionary definition of melancholy is a feeling of pensive sadness, typically with no obvious cause. So lots of really fun music to talk about, and let's just get started. Track 1 on my list is by one of my favourite artists of all time, Death Cab for Cutie, and is called The Ice Is Getting Thinner. The song is the final track on their 2008 album Narrow Stairs. Got it on vinyl, by the way, no big deal, whatever. I'm sure a few of you will have heard this song before. It's absolutely breathtaking, and I know that lyrically it may not necessarily fit in with the theme of melancholy. The song is very relationship based and is effectively Ben Gibbard lamenting the moment of realization that a relationship is doomed. We're not the same dear as we used to be, the seasons have changed and so have we, is the opening line of this song, so it kind of gives you an impression of what it's going to be like. So thematically maybe it doesn't quite fit into the category, but the reason that I picked it is more for the instrumental side of things. It's very minimal, mostly it's just Ben Gibbard's voice and a single guitar, but the tone of that guitar is so dry and so lacking in any sort of feeling. There's a little bit of delay on it, but other than that it's just this really blunt, not unpleasant, but very just dry is the only way I can really describe it. Very dry sounding guitar, and that kind of represents the mood of the song really well, and it's just heartbreaking to listen to. Track number 2 on my list is by the Paper Kites and is called Too Late. The song features on the most recent album 12/4, which I actually did a review on a few weeks ago where I talked a bit more about what I thought of the album. It's a really cool song and it's got this kind of soulful, almost R&B style instrumental that goes through it, but there's something about it that just makes one feel slightly low. As you can tell from the title of the song, it's about people being too late for something that could have been quite special. And again, you know, potentially relationship themed, but you know, you can feel melancholy because of relationships too. And it's just one of those songs that when I listen to it, just kind of, I don't know, it makes me slow everything down a little bit. Track number 3 on my list is called Gallows, and it's by Coco Rosie, taken from their hideously typefaced album Grey Oceans. Got that on vinyl too. This was actually the very first Coco Rosie song I ever heard. Now, if you haven't heard of them before, Coco Rosie are formed of 2 sisters, Bianca and Sierra Cassidy, who make weird, wonderful, sometimes controversial, and often disturbing music. Now, if you want a song that makes you feel melancholy, just listen to that. There's something about, I think it's Bianca is the one that sings it mostly. Something about her weird, almost childlike, whispery tone of a voice that really like hits the core of you in a very strange way. And it's accompanied by this harp with all of these weird Foley sounds going on in the background, you know, cats screeching and weird nature noises going on. Now, if you want to feel melancholy as well as feeling uncomfortable and slightly disturbed, then watch the music video for it. I watched the music video for the first time when I was probably a bit too young to get it or to really watch it, because it covers some pretty dark subject matter and it just really kind of disturbed me is the best way I can put it. It's just really dark. It's like, just watch it if you want to see something that's kind of f***ed up. Moving on, track number 4 on my list is by the American rock band formed in Long Island, New York, brand new, and is called Jesus Christ. If you haven't heard the song before, then you really should have, because it's a very well-known, frequently covered, almost iconic track in the underground rock music scene. It's from their critically acclaimed 2006 release, The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me. Got that one as well. It has this lo-fi, almost robotic sounding drum beat going all the way through it, a simple but genius guitar riff, and the absolutely amazing vocals of Jesse Lacey that seem to convey so much emotion and kind of really bring you into what he's singing about, which in the case of this song is effectively, you know, inner turmoil and self-doubt and a whole plethora of sort of different things that are all also at the same time kind of the same thing. The lyrics are so well written, and I mean that in every sense, not just in the way that if you were to read them they would read very well, but the way that they fit the music is just perfect. And there's this great moment where it cuts to silence for an uncomfortably long time, and then it comes back in with the guitar riff from the beginning of the song. It's so good. And yeah, if you're sitting alone in your room and that song comes on shuffle, it will just bring everything down in the best possible way. Final track for this month is by the amazing artist Peter Brodrick and is called A Glacier, taken from his 2013 album Float. Yep, that one too. This is a beautifully empty piano and string based composition. The whole album is absolutely brilliant, and if you do listen to it, I'd recommend listening to it all the way through, not just listening to that specific track, but it's just really kind of mournful. One of those pieces that makes you stare off into the distance and wonder why you even exist. It's amazing, and Peter Brodrick is a fantastic artist and musician. He's on Erased Tapes Records, which is the same label that Olaf Ronalds and Nils Fram and all these other people are part of. And finally we come to our album of the month, and for Melancholy March, that is The Doctor Came at Dawn by Smog. Smog is formed of one man. It is the American singer-songwriter and guitarist Bill Callahan. This album came out in 1996, and I'd love to say that I had some really interesting and unique way of discovering him, but in all honesty, it was about 4 or 5 years ago, and I think I typed into Google top 10 most melancholy albums ever, and this was one of the ones that appeared. It didn't cost very much to get on vinyl, so I picked a copy up, and it just sort of blew my mind. Now, thematically, this is more of a breakup album than anything else, but the way that these songs are written it's more heartbreaking and empty than Keaton Henson's work. If you thought Dear was depressing, try listening to this. And similarly to Keaton's work, this album is just the most perfect representation of a man with a broken heart who has lost all faith. But not just from that perspective, this also is very, very good at representing, you know, the jealousy and the bitterness that a human can feel in those situations. And it does that in such an amazingly draining way. It really kind of just takes everything out of you. And especially if you listen to it from start to finish and you really allow yourself to be taken into Bill Callahan's, you know, terrible little world for 50 minutes or whatever. Just have a listen to a couple of the song titles from this album. Spread Your Bloody Wings, Everything You Touch Becomes a Crutch, 4 Hearts in a Can, Hangman Blues. And the thing about this album is that I very, very rarely listen to it because it is just so depressing. So if you want to feel really melancholy and broken, listen to this, although I don't think it's on Spotify or any of the streaming sites. I've tried looking for it and can't find it. I've got this, so it's fine. And I think that there's a full version of it on YouTube somewhere, so go hunting for it if you want to have a listen. So there we have it. That is the end of this month's music picks. Next month, I'm actually going to be talking about April Revival or something similar to that. So a collection of my favourite music that artists have released after being dormant for a long time and not having released any new music for ages. That's going to be the theme next month, so it'll be much happier than the previous 3 themes, which have all been somewhat sad and depressing music in one way or another. Anyway, I would love to hear what your top music picks are. Let me know down in the comments. I will be checking them out. I always like being introduced to new music and hearing new things. Let me know what you think of the music that I've chosen. Maybe you like it or you hate it or you disagree with my reasons for choosing it in this category. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you very soon.